Alright, so welcome back to the Gravit Designer tutorial. Last time, in the last video, we clipped out the turtle and made him into a little PNG. And then today we're going to do the same thing with the corgi, which just because it's, curvier and lumpier, will just be a little bit, more detail oriented, but it's going to be pretty much the same process. And then before I go into the corgi, though, I did want to go over how to save a file to your computer so that you can edit it later. And then also how to save to the cloud, because I didn't go over that last time. All right, so we have our turtle. And to save it to the cloud, you can, I've already saved it, so I'm going to say save as so you can see the window. And like I said, I've already saved it, but there is a limit to how many documents you can have on the Gravit cloud, but you can kind of keep a lot on there for right now. And then once it gets full, it'll, give you a little notice, and then you can save it to your computer. And so here, I'll show you how to do that. So, all right. So what you would do is you would download the file. So it saves it, and then it downloads it, and I've already done it, so you'll see it pop up twice. So it pops up as a Gravit Designer file, and so that's only, for this particular program. But it is nice because I, saved it to my desktop. I can pull it up at home on my web browser. I do have Gravit Designer downloaded, so, I could work on it there if I wanted. But there's not a really big difference between using it on the web versus using it on your computer. The only thing I would say is a difference is if you start editing a lot of different flannels in one canvas, your web browser will start to slow down a little bit just because it's, we're asking it to do a whole lot by keeping all those images up. And then, and let me show you how to upload it too. So let's say, you pick it back up later and you don't want to do a new design. What you can do is you can open from your computer, and then you would just go find, that file, and you could keep working on it. When you want to open from the Gravit cloud, like if you haven't run out of space yet, you can open it from here. And you can see, like I said, I've definitely done multiple flannels on one canvas before. But like I said, it just slows your web browser down a little bit. So just keep that in mind. All right, so now that we are done with the turtle, I, instead of zooming out and adding the corgi to the same canvas, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the left, and I'm going to add a page. And so this is just a new canvas. It's totally separate, but it's just saved under the same file. And so if you have certain flannels that you're working on for fall or whatever, a particular event, it might be helpful to save them all in the same place. All right, so I'm going to load up the corgi picture, and then we'll get started on outlining that guy with the path tool. All right, so it's uploading that, and just like the turtle, the picture is pretty big. So I'm going to hold Control and scroll down on my mouse wheel to zoom out. And then again, I'm going to hold down the H key so that I can scooch over with the hand tool. And then I'll let go of the H key, and I'm back to the pointer. So as you can see, he's sideways right now, and just to make it easier on myself, I'm going to grab this white circle over here, and you can see the arrow, maybe not on my screen, but on your screen, you should be able to see 2 arrows going in a little circle. And so you can go ahead and straighten him out. And if you press the shift button while you do it, it'll put it in certain angles. So that way you can make sure it's super up and down. All right, so we have our corgi selected. We're in the pointer tool. So we're going to go and crop it down just like we did with the turtle, just to get rid of some of that extra stuff we're not worried about. And again, same as, last time, watch out for when the mouse looks like 4 arrows, because then you're like moving the picture. So you want to wait until your mouse just does the 2 arrows with the bar in the middle. And you can crop. And one thing I will say for taking these pictures, like from the get-go, is that it is helpful to be in kind of a nice bright place. At North Regional, where I took this photo, it is pretty bright in there because we have a lot of windows, and when they're up on the wall too, it is very bright. But if I have started to clip flannels that I've taken pictures of, maybe at home where it's a little bit darker, and those don't seem to print as well, I think, on the I Spy sheets. All right, so I'm done cropping that guy. So what I'm going to do now is I'll go ahead and select the path tool. And I'm going to zoom in, like I said, holding control, using your mouse wheel. Okay, I'll back out a little bit and do just like real simple. Okay, so this corgi is a lot more complex of a shape, at least in terms of Gravit Designer, than the turtle was. The turtle was pretty straightforward. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just a very, very basic outline, like super rough, and just know that we'll come back and we'll make it look better. So I know that there's like 3 curves right here, but for now, I'm going to just do 1 across, and then I'll come in later and probably add a point or 2 to make those little bumps. And then the ear, I could see potentially being just 1 curve, so I'm going to go across it. Same here. I see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 curves. But just to get this very rough outline, I'm going to make 1 line here. Maybe like right there. And then I can already see that's not a sharp corner, so I'm going to put my anchor point right below it like we were doing with the turtle. And just remember, we're going to go back and make this look super good. So don't stress over like where you're putting it. And excuse me, the more you do it, you'll kind of figure out where you like to put points. So like for this one is a little more defined. I'll go ahead and throw those in there. I can see that being 1 curve, and you'll just kind of get a feel for it the more you play with it. So like I know that I want to make that little curve, so I'm going to go ahead and start making small points. All right, and then let's do across the ear. And so you wait until you see the O underneath your mouse. I know my mouse is a little small in the recording. And then you'll see the box turns like an aqua color. And that's when you know the shape can be closed. And so we've got a very, very, very rough corgi here. And so the path tool is still selected, and I'm done drawing for right this second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the pointer tool. And just like with the turtle, we're going to turn the opacity way down to like halfway so we can see what we're doing. And you can see, like I pointed out with the turtle, let me click out. There's a little teeny tiny black outline, which is kind of helpful for when you're getting your shape ready. All right, and you could, if it is helpful for you, you could even like make the line a little bit more bold. And so that way, you can just see it a little better. Ultimately, we're going to get rid of it though, so I like to keep it pretty thin so that it doesn't, make a big difference when I get rid of it later. Oops. All right, so I need to change it back to 1 and click here. There it goes. All right, so now we're ready to go through and add probably a lot of points. And we'll go through and make everything super curvy. And since we're not editing the whole shape, we need to go to the sub-select tool. And this does get a lot faster once you learn the keyboard shortcuts, but I do want to make sure I'm going slow for the video. All right, so I'm going to start, you can start anywhere, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to start with this ear up here. So I'm zooming in by holding control and, scrolling up like always. And so now that we're nice and zoomed in, I can see that this is not really on the edge. So I'll move it over. And then I'll see if I can't make a, roughly a similar shape. So that looks good for right this second. And then these little arms are going to be super helpful today. All right. So I feel like already I'm going to add a point. So I'm going to add a point right over here. I'm going to move it over with my arrow keys. There we go. And then let's see if we can't scoot this over. Get that nice pink background. Okay, cool. I might even go a little lower with my opacity so I can really kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, so I like that right now. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out just a little bit to do the side of his face. And so like I said, we're going to go ahead and just add a lot of points. So this curve I could see making, out of one line. So I'm going to add a point right here. And scooch it over. All right, and so we're going to make the teeniest little S shape right here. So I'm going to click on it when the S shows up. And that looks good for right this second. And then I'm going to, whoops, clicked on the picture. There we go. So we're back on the path. And I'm going to take this arm, do here. And then when I moved that one, it did impact the curve on this side. So I'm going to take this arm, maybe, scooch it out a little bit so it's still belled out. And then I can do the same thing over here so I don't get any of that dark green. All right, so now I want to do, I feel like maybe right here we can make a curve, like kind of gentle S like we did up here. So I'm going to add, maybe right here, point. And you can, as you get comfortable, you can kind of put it wherever, you might want to put it up here and have like points down in each, kind of valley. And then, curve it up, whatever is comfortable and whatever you feel like looks good is probably fine. All right, so first I'm going to bend this out. And just to make it easy on myself, I'm actually going to add another point right here. So you'll see it gets a little tricky to like click on things, and so I'm going to zoom in even more, even though I know it looks kind of weird, but it'll be really helpful. All right, so I'm scooting over with my keys, arrow keys. And this needs just the teeniest little curve in. All right, perfect. And then I'm going to scoot this over up just a little bit and then over, so there's not like a weird point there. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to click on this one. Make sure I get all the pink in there as much as I can. Okay. And if you ever do something that looks super weird, you can always Control Z or, go up here to undo it. It's not a big deal. Almost everything in this program can be undone. So I know there's a lot of like fear sometimes around like computers and like messing something up, but with this, like you don't have to worry. Almost everything can be undone. All right, so to do this point, this valley, then add one right here. Okay. And a point there. Get this nice guy. All right, I do want to get that little curve in there to like really get the shape of his face, so I'm gonna pull that one down a little bit. And again, like I'm gonna do, go to the pointer tool real quick and click outside so I can see that line. You know, there's a little bit of a point there, but it looks okay. So, you know, it's up to you, use your judgment. You know, we're pretty zoomed in right now, so it probably won't make a big difference. But you can always, when you're done and you turn the opacity all the way up at the end, you can kind of see really good, like, if your shape looks funny or not. And I'll go over that at the end. All right, so I press the letter D to get back into the subselect tool. Squish this guy up a little bit so it's not quite such a point, if that makes sense. Okay, so now I'm going to scroll down. At this point I'm going to move up because it's like the beginning of another curve right there. I'm going to scoot this one over a little bit just so it's not getting any green. Okay. I'm just going to grab this curve actually and just scooch it a little bit. Those arms are helpful, but sometimes, you know, it's easier just to grab the curve itself. Okay, so now I want to do this valley, this little fluff. Let's add one here, one here. Scooch this guy over to the edge. In. There we go. Perfect. So we're going to move this over. I'm going to curve it out. So for this valley, we'll add one right here. Oops, clicked on the picture. Let's do like there. And so, you know, this is pretty darn similar to what we did with the turtle, but the turtle just had a lot more, even his curves were more simple than these guys. This one has just a little lumps because he's a cute puppy. All right, and I can kind of tell that is a little bit of a point. I'm going to go in, zoom in a little bit more, make it less pointy. Oops. All right. So I can kind of see where it's coming from. I'm going to scoot it out a little bit. Still getting all, you know, the dark green background out, but it is a little less, slightly less pointy. And, you know, you can just play around with it. Like I said, once we kind of zoom out, it probably won't be a very big deal. All right. Let's go back to this guy. And I'm going to put it up here. Make it easy on myself. Sometimes it's easier, just lots of points, and there's no harm. No harm in lots of points if it helps. I think the only thing that more points does is it technically makes the file a little bit bigger, but I don't think it's, you know, it's not a big enough difference that we would need to worry about. It's when you start getting to thousands of points that the computer takes a second to start, you know, loading it up. Do this little curve. And like I said in the turtle video, you don't have to be as, you know, as particular as me. This is maybe not the best use of time to be zooming in quite this much, but it does kind of make it look nice for the I Spy sheets. Okay. So this curve, I think will be fine. I'm just going to pull it out here. Scooch it in a little bit. There we go. This one's pretty good too. I'm going to put it right there. Curve it down to cover his little foot. Scoot it over here. Alright. This one with the arrows, keys, I'm going to scoot it. Sometimes it's easier to do that. Curve this one in. This one I wanted to go in a little bit more. Not get any green down there. Alright. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to edit this one a little bit. Get a little more of that pink in there. Perfect. Alright. Switch over with the hand. Alright, so since there's a curve here and then kind of a sharp curve here, I'm just going to add a point. Make it easy on myself. Pick up a little. And then for the corner, we're going to do really similar to what we did for the turtle around his belly, where there were nice curved cuts. You know, it takes so long to make the flannel, so might as well show off all the cool details. All right. So this is one good curve. I'll make this one maybe right here. All right, so since this one is still selected, I'm just going to use my arrow keys to adjust a little bit right now. And this one I'll scooch in because I don't want to get any green there. But I want it to tick over here, so I'm going to pull it down. And you'll get used to like how the little arms move things over time. And it's nice that the little, outline moves to show you where you're going. All right, so I'm going to leave that alone for now. I think that's fine. This one I'm going to move to the other side of the corner so I can get this nice little curve in here. Get his little paws. There's that. All right. Nice. All right, so I think we're like halfway done. Let's check. Yeah, looking good. Okay. So we're going to zoom back in. Okay. I think that's a good spot. I'm going to put it right here. I like to put my points, halfway in between curves. So if I see like this is like a funny S shape, I'm going to put it in the middle so I can do just like a quick pull up this way. And that's pretty close. And then for this one, I'll do the same thing. I'll put it in the middle of where it's bending into the next curve. So I can just have this pull down. Pretty straightforward. But like I said, you'll figure out your own ways of doing things, and it's, the result is the same. It's going to look awesome. Some fine-tune adjustments. Okay, cool. Now we're going to go over here. Okay, so this one we didn't put a whole lot of points, so I'm going to go ahead, scooch this guy here. And then I see a little S there, so I'm going to put another point here, pull it down. All right, so I'm going to curve this up. Then I'm going to pull it down, this one down. I'm going to click on this guy because it's a little bit out of the pink outline. You can see the pink flannel. Okay, and so here's another nice curve, and then there's another one that starts. So I'm going to add a point here. So I'll put it on the line, and then I'll drag it over to exactly where I want it. Oops. So I, instead of clicking on the point, added another one. That's not a big deal at all. You can just Control Z or, move it somewhere else if you want, whatever is easiest. That looks good enough. I'm going to just scroll up. Okay. So I'm going to zoom out now that we're doing a bigger one. And that looks like it might even be one nice curve. So let's just go ahead, put it here. We'll see if we can make it work. First I'll click and drag it out. Okay, so that corner looks pretty good. Let's see if we can make it this side include the pink outline without getting too tricky. Okay, I think that looks really good. So I'm not going to add any more points for that one. And then you can see this is like a very gentle S shape. So I'm going to add one, another point here. Oops, clicked on the picture. I do that a lot. All right, then I'll scoot this guy in. Okay. So I can't really see what's going on there. I'm going to move the point for a second just so I can see. Okay, so it's like there's a curve here and then it goes the other way. So what I'll do is I'll curve it in up here, and then so that it goes out down closer to this point, I will use the arm, make it super short. Do that, and then this one will make it a little longer, and it'll pull the line back over so we don't have any of that green and poking out. All right, cool. So this one we might even be able to delete. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you can see it just, connected the next 2 points. So I'm going to put this guy right there. I'm going to curve out Gizzle cheek. And then, just to make it easy, I'm going to add a point right there. Curve to get that guy. And then I'll adjust these guys to get this little curve in it too. Right, we're almost done. So let's finish up his other little cheek. This one I'm going to scoot over a little so we're not getting any green in the background. Alright, so now we're going to do the ear. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and add a point just because I want to make sure I get the shape of the ear really good because it's super cute. Alright. It's pretty darn close. I'm going to scoot this arm up just like the tiniest amount. And move this one out just a little bit. Get that nice curve in there. Okay, awesome. So this curve, I'll probably move this point right here. So I can just make one simple little curve. No S shape needed. And then I'm just going to add, for every valley, I'll add a point. And then I'll show you what I'll do next. And it'll be just like, just like the other sides. So we've got this valley. Add one over here. Turn this into a little hump. Oops. And same here, we're going to add a point. Curve it down. Add another point. Sorry, my dog's barking. All right. We are almost done. And then we're going to press the H key and scoot over. Just to get this nice little curve in there, I might even add one more point. Zoom in and get it really good. Because you can kind of see there's like a little curve there. Now that I've zoomed in, I might even move this guy over a little too. Don't have any green background poking out. All right, so I'm going to zoom way out so you can see our corgi. Hold. And then since we're done, I'm going to go over to the pointer tool and select the path, and we're going to do our opacity up so we can see the lines really good, like I said earlier. All right, so there aren't any like funky points or anything. I'm pretty happy with this shape. So what I'm going to do is, just like the turtle, I'm going to take the picture, highlight it in the layers, and then hover it over the path. Because you can put it on top of the path to cover it, but what we're trying to do is put it inside. So you can hover until it's highlighted, put it in. Oh, pardon me, other way around. Putting the corgi into the path. I forgot. There we go. All right, so our corgi looks great. It's good to go. I'm going to select it and change the path name to corgi. And then I'm going to make sure you can see that little black line is still there. So I'm going to get rid of the border so we don't have any of that. Okay, so now we've saved. So to export it, the PNG, we're going to add export. I'm not going to add a name. It should download as corgi, and then I'll download it from this arrow guy. And so you can see it's there. We can open it. It looks really cute. I can see, now that it's out, I can see some dark stuff poking through. So, now I could go back and kind of edit that if I need to. I'm going to close that. And we are done with our corgi. You can go on the other page, see our little turtle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save. I'm going to save it to the cloud. And like I said, once you run out of space on the cloud, you can just save it. You can download the file and save it to your computer. All right. So the last thing I did want to show real quick is that Gravit Designer does have really awesome documentation. So if you are trying to figure something out and maybe my video isn't helpful, you can go to, all of these little documents are awesome. Let's go to the tools and menus, and then let's look at drawing tools, because that's what we use a lot is the pig tool. And so you can go down here and it, just like I showed you in the turtle video, but it kind of has little pictures and just step-by-step directions. The way that they, make a curved line is a little different than how I do it. So just whatever works for you is great. And then the very last thing I wanted to show you was, open from cloud. So other things you can do with this program once you get comfortable with it is you can clip out people from a picture or a dog, like I was trying to do here. And then you can also use the path tool and then fill it in. Like if you create like the cloud shape we made yesterday, we could fill it in with white. And then you can make your own clip art too, which is kind of fun. So we have like I think at some point we had a hat matching game to a job, and every single picture was of a white male, which is fine, but not ideal. So I, just started creating other guys. And I live in Raleigh, so I've got Raleigh astronaut. And these are all just kind of like based on other clip art things I had seen. And you know, I'm still working on it. I don't know if I like the lines. This guy doesn't have them. I kind of like that. So, but whatever, you know, there's lots of fun things you can do with this. When you know, clip a person out of a picture instead of a flannel, you can make it into like a birthday card or anything like that. So I hope this was helpful. Like I said in the turtle video, feel free to email me or ping me or whatever for any questions. And I hope you have a lot of fun. This is kind of like a nice, relaxing side task. And it looks really cool. And you can add it to your resume. All right. So thanks for tuning in.